Every night at precisely 3:33 a.m., Serafina would wake up to use the bathroom before returning to bed. It was an annoying habit, but one she couldn't help. That was usually when things got strange. Because every night at precisely 3:33 a.m., when Serafina stood before the full-length mirror in her room, she saw a different version of herself staring back. But the other her wasn't just different in appearance. The other her always seemed different in demeanor, too. Sometimes she was happy, sometimes sad, sometimes confident, sometimes shy, and Serafina couldn't figure out why. It was confusing, sure, but not really scary. Until tonight. Tonight, the reflection moved. Serafina had just gotten back from the bathroom, pulled the curtains closed, and was about to slip back into bed when she caught her nightly visitor moving on its own. She stumbled back, nearly tripping over her throw rug, and watched in horror as the specter stepped out of the mirror and approached her. It was wearing the same nightgown Serafina was, but it wasn't her. Its hair was darker than her strawberry blonde. Its eyes were violet instead of green, and it was beautiful in a way Serafina knew she could never be. "Serafina," it whispered, and the sound of its voice sent chills down her spine. "Serafina." Then it was gone, vanished back into the mirror, leaving Serafina trembling in the darkness of her room. The next night, she didn't go to sleep at all, spending the entire time wide-eyed and frozen with fear as the clock ticked closer and closer to 3:33. But when the dreaded hour struck, she found herself inexplicably drawn to the mirror. When she looked into it, she saw the other her, looking back at her with an expression of longing and sadness. "Serafina," it whispered again, reaching out a hand and touching the glass. "Help me." And in that moment, Serafina realized that whatever was happening here, whatever bond they shared, it was something powerful, something important. With newfound determination, Serafina confronted the mystery head-on. She spent weeks poring over dusty grimoires, desperate to uncover any mention of reflections or doppelgangers. Finally, she found what she was looking for, a hidden chapter detailing the lore of the Silver Mirror, an artifact of immense power that allowed one to peer into parallel worlds. But this was no ordinary mirror. Oh no, the Silver Mirror had its own will, and it used that power to entrap unsuspecting souls, twisting their reflections into monstrous parodies of themselves, trapping them forever in the mirror realm. And if the stories were to be believed, the only way to break the curse was to sever the connection between the trapped soul and the mirror itself, a task that was easier said than done. For once ensnared by the mirror, a person's reflection became their curse and their obsession, draining their life force and driving them mad with each passing day. Armed with this knowledge, Serafina devised a plan. She would confront her reflection, demand answers, and hopefully find a way to break free before it was too late. But as 3:33 approached, a wave of dizziness washed over her, and she could feel the mirror's pull growing stronger. Her reflection loomed before her, more solid than ever. "Tell me who you are," Serafina demanded, her voice shaking. "Why are you doing this to me?" The reflection tilted its head, its violet eyes filled with sorrow. "I am you, Serafina," it whispered. "Or rather, I was. I am the part of you that was lost, the magic that was taken from you. I am Lysandra, your twin sister." Serafina gasped. She had heard rumors of her parents having twins, but she had always assumed they had miscarried. Could Lysandra be the reason for the mirror's curse? And if so, how could she help her? But before Serafina could question her reflection further, the room began to shake violently. Cracks spread across the mirror's surface, and Lysandra cried out in pain. "The mirror is unstable," she warned. "If we don't do something, it will shatter, and I will be trapped here forever." Serafina felt a surge of determination. She wouldn't let her sister be trapped. Not only because she cared for Lysandra, but also because she had grown to care for the girl who stared back at her from the mirror, who reminded her of the magic she had lost. Together, sister and reflection ventured into the mirror, bracing themselves for what lay on the other side. As the mirror shattered, bathing them in a kaleidoscope of colors, they braced themselves for a battle against the entity that had imprisoned Lysandra. But when the dust settled, they found themselves standing in a lush meadow bathed in the light of 2 moons. In the distance, they could see a magnificent castle, its towers scraping the clouds. Before either sister could speak, a group of knights clad in shimmering armor surrounded them, their gazes sharp and unwavering. "Who are you?" one of the knights demanded, his voice echoing with authority. "And what brings you to Etheria?" Lysandra stepped forward, her voice ringing with power. "We mean you no harm," she declared. "We are travelers from another realm, and we seek only passage to the Sunstone." The knights exchanged glances, their expressions unreadable. Finally, one of them spoke, his tone laced with caution. "The Sunstone's power is not to be wielded lightly. Why do you seek it?" "Because only the Sunstone can break the curse binding my sister to our world," Seraphina blurted out, surprising even herself with the conviction in her voice. The knights fell silent, their gazes boring into hers. After what felt like an eternity, one of them finally nodded, breaking the silence. "Very well, we will escort you to the Sunstone. But be warned, the path is fraught with peril, and many have perished trying to reach it." And so began Seraphina and Lysandra's perilous journey through the ethereal lands of Etheria, a realm where magic coursed through every vein of the earth, and mythical creatures roamed freely. Guided by the stoic knights, they ventured deep into the heart of this enchanted land, facing treacherous terrains and mythical beasts that tested their courage and resolve. Throughout their journey, Seraphina and Lysandra grew closer, learning more about each other and the magical heritage they both possessed. They discovered that their mother, a powerful sorceress, had sent Lysandra away to protect her from a sinister plot orchestrated by their father's advisors. These men, envious of their father's magical abilities, sought to usurp the throne and had cursed Lysandra, trapping her essence in a mirror realm. With each passing day, the sisters grew more determined to break the curse, knowing that only the Sunstone, a legendary crystal of immense power, could do so. But they also knew that the Sunstone was heavily guarded by their father's loyal knights, who remained oblivious to the deception. Finally, they reached the Sunstone, a radiant crystal pulsing with celestial energy. As Seraphina reached out to touch it, however, a powerful surge of magic erupted, sending her sprawling to the ground. From the corner of her eye, she saw a figure emerge, cloaked in shadows, and recognized the malevolent gleam in their eyes. It was Cassiopeia, her father's advisor and the mastermind behind Lysandra's curse. A fierce battle ensued, magic clashing against magic as Seraphina and Lysandra fought to protect the Sunstone. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, Seraphina remembered the love and longing she had seen in her reflection's eyes all those nights ago. With a newfound resolve, she poured her emotions into a powerful spell, creating a blinding light that enveloped Cassiopeia. As the light faded, Cassiopeia stood there, weak and defeated, stripped of her dark magic. With Cassiopeia subdued, Seraphina and Lysandra were finally able to harness the Sunstone's power to break the curse that had bound Lysandra to the mirror realm. In that moment, the sky rumbled and a portal opened, revealing their own world on the other side. As the sisters prepared to return home, Lysandra turned to Seraphina, her violet eyes shining with gratitude. "Thank you for saving me," she whispered, her voice echoing with emotion. "You have my eternal gratitude." Seraphina smiled, feeling a sense of relief and joy. "Don't mention it," she replied. "I couldn't bear the thought of losing you." And so, hand in hand, the long-lost twin sisters stepped into the portal, leaving the ethereal realm of Etheria behind them. Back in their own world, everything seemed different. The walls of Seraphina's room no longer felt confining. The mirror, once a source of fear, now stood as a symbol of her courage. Seraphina knew that her life would never be the same. Now, with Lysandra by her side, she felt whole as if a piece of her soul had finally returned. Together, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Their bond unbreakable, their magic untamed. For they were the daughters of the Moon King, and their story was just beginning.